Well, we're going to build some stuff, and I'll talk about ship design after this, because basically you start out with a whole bunch of these. Actually, you know what? No, because I think we have something unlocked already. So let's go to design. Okay, and this is something we'll get acquainted to a lot. It's a very simple design system with this game that is also it's very simple, but it has depth that is under the simplicity. So right now you can see here we have a command, mission, and engine section. The engine basically is what it says. That's the engine of the ship, and usually you put whatever the highest technology level thing you have on here. There's no real choice there. The mission section dictates kind of what this ship does. The armor. So right now we have an armor mission section. This means it's basically a combat ship. It's really heavily armored. It usually has the most weapon mounts, like a good average of weapon mounts and stuff like that. That's your combat kind of thing. And we'll unlock more of these as we go. There's an assault shuttle, which is used for attacking planets. There's the colonizer, which you might recognize from the intro movie that it was shown. There's an extended range, which is kind of like an unarmored section, just has a whole bunch of extra fuel tanks, so it goes further. And obviously there's a defense platform, and there's a tanker, which is literally just a fuel carrier, because fuel does come into play in this game. So with that, those dictate the mission of the ship. And here, this section, this command section, dictates kind of the secondary function of the ship. You could have things like scanners, shield sections, stuff like that could come into play that kind of give a secondary possibility of this ship. So, like I said, very simple in the kind of on the surface, but it's also got a lot of depth to it if you want to go into it. And also, you saw here this entire section right here, this weapon loadout. You can group weapons up. You can put individual mounts, and they actually are represented on the ship in combat, and you can target them and stuff like that. They have different arcs. So you see this. Not every one of these boxes represent a singular weapon point. They could represent a group of weapons. So right here you have 3 arcs, because you have 3 turrets on this section that have those arcs. And back here you have the back weapon. It's simple. Like I keep saying, simple, but if you want to put a lot of time into it, you're going to get a lot better results. So actually we're going to save this design as the Armor Mark II.
Yes, sir. Ship design ready for construction.
And there we get the voice acting of this game. It's a bit, how do we say, offensive to some people. It can be. We're going to remove the old design because we don't need it anymore. And we're going to just keep updating these, basically. It's a little bit tedious, but it's required. And usually, I'll probably cut this out of future recordings, but I kind of want you guys to know, the general kind of. I want to introduce you guys to this before I kind of cut it out. So, yeah. And we're going to. There we go. And we're going to save this Colonizer Mark II.
Yes, sir. Ship design ready for construction.
And we're just gonna, this is the last thing. And then we'll just do that. Mark II.
Design entered into Naval Archives.
Okay, and we're gonna back out, and now we can build our ships that have these upgraded engines on the back of them. And what I usually do is I'm going to make a couple of colonizers and a couple of tankers.
Construction project.
And we're going to do the same thing for this one. We're going to make a couple of tankers and a couple of colonizers. And then, we'll do that.
Construction order placed, Commander.
And since we don't have any ships, it's a pretty easy turn. Okay. And, yeah, let's end the turn. Now, one other thing about this game that is interesting is that when you start the game, you actually can't understand anything the other players or the other factions say. You have to research their language once you contact them. So actually, I'll show you this. We get back over to... Where's it at? Xenotech. When we encounter a race, we'll have a tree like this. This is the human Xenotech tree. And like it says, we know English, we know Latin. Basically, we know our own language, etc. But when you start out and you just meet somebody, you have to research their language, or else you won't be able to understand them or engage in diplomatic talks. And that carries over into multiplayer. When somebody types something in the chat, they won't understand what you say, and you can't understand what they say. It's just random gibberish. It's actually kind of cool. I wish I could show it off, but I don't exactly have anybody to help record these, so it's just kind of something that was interesting I had to talk about. Obviously, right down here we have a simple fleet system. It's not that different from any other game, and we're just going to move these guys in different areas and organize these fleets, and we'll end the turn again. Okay.
System update.
Alright. And we'll just get these fleets together. We want to try and explore here, and that way I can explain some of these terraforming missions, etc. Let's see.
Course plotted. Engaging node drive.
Alright, and here's another thing. Sorry, there's a lot to explain here, but it's something that we won't have to deal with too much. But you see these little lines here between these planets? That is pretty much only seen in the human race. When you play as humans in this game, you're the only one that gets these lines. Every faction has a different FTL technologies. Ours, as humans, are it's basically we go in through kind of naturally occurring FTL lines between stars. They're predetermined, we can't make them, and we have to follow them to be able to go places. The advantage of being kind of locked into predetermined paths is we're very, very fast in comparison to other races, and we can't be attacked while inside of them. Now, the other races have different FTL technologies, like Lear use like micro-teleportation. The Hivers don't even have FTL technology. They just have a Stargate that they have to go sub-FTL speeds to a planet, then build the Stargate at a planet so they can teleport there instantaneously. It goes on, and it's very different between each race. So again, lots of replayability with this game if you decide to play different races. And even if you play the same one, you obviously have the different tech tree. So we're going to go to the next turn.
System.
Okay, we found a couple of planets. Now, when you find a planet, the first thing you need to look at is the climate hazard. Now, this one's actually pretty good. Let's see, what is the other one? Okay, this one's a bit better. This one's a bit worse. Climate hazard 250. That means when we colonize it, it'll take 250 terraforming points. I'm using air quotes. Terraforming points to make that perfect. See, if we go to our normal planets here, that's right in the center there. That little dot has moved over to the side. Now, what that means is that this will take quite a bit of money and investment to terraform. This is not going to take too much to terraform, but there's one other thing you need to remember. That's just the climate hazard. We see over here, size 1. That means it's a very small planet. This one's size 4. This dictates how many resources it has on it, and those come into play with certain late-game things like over-harvesting and pushing your planet, etc. And this one has less. And we can also see here we have a little cost icon, a little cost thing down here, and it's 37,559. That's how much it'll cost us to terraform, and we have to maintain that cost per turn. Well, if we look over here, this one's only 11,000. So this is actually probably a pretty good way to go. So we're going to colonize that.
Colony status.
And that'll eat up a colony ship. And what we're going to do here is we're going to leave this colony ship there because I'm thinking that we might be able to... Okay, well, we can't actually go anywhere. This is another thing that comes up very early on with human players, is this node line is very long, and that means we needed more advanced engines to travel it. Even though we have node drives on our ships, they have a certain range. See, our range is, our range is technically 12, so we have 12 light years. Basically think of it like light years. We have 12 light years between the stars. This, I am pretty sure, hold on, I'm pretty sure there's a way of figuring this out. I remember there was a way of measuring, but for the life of me, I can't remember the actual method of doing that. But basically, we're going to have to wait to expand in that direction. So, a good thing to do here is we can move this colony ship over to that planet, and we'll use it to put more colonists down on this planet, because one, this is going to cost less than that planet, so it's a better investment. And we can then, with the second colony ship that colonizes it, it'll put more infrastructure and more people, and it'll colonize faster, so that way it'll start turning a profit, and we won't be sinking money, because you'll see next turn here, if we look.
System update.
Alright, hold on. Okay.
Over time and over
the budget has
but at least we finally have this tech director.
okay, the budget has been a bit has been changed around because our research is over, but see that light blue sliver there? That is what we're putting towards the colony, and it means that's a part of the budget that won't be going to research or savings. So I think the first thing it eats up is the savings, and then it starts cutting into the research, and we don't want too much of that. Okay, here we go. First thing we've ever researched, Waldo units. Just basically all it did is increase our industrial output, decrease our ship construction costs, and it gave us access to a new ship component called the Hammerhead Command Section, which is pretty good. So that was good. It's always a good starting move if you guys want to buy the game and you're trying to play it. Pretty much that's the first thing I research every time. It's perfectly good. And we see here, we have orbital foundries we can research, but I'm going to look at some of these other things just to check and see what we have available. That way we don't put too much in one field. Let's see here. We got quite a good spread of research, actually. I don't think we need to invest too much into current... into offensive technologies, mostly because we don't really need them right now. Okay, let's see here. Alright, we're going to take this really simple research here.
Yes,
Recumbent fissionables.
Initiating research.
That'll increase our range a little bit with our ships, and maybe we can go through that long node line. Okay, so there we go there. Oh, and we just found this planet. Now, this planet is colonizable. It has a cost rating, so as long as there's a cost rating, we can colonize it. There are some planets that are uncolonizable. Basically, it'll say cost prohibitive. Right next to the cross, it'll be prohibitive, because it'll be like in the red zone. Now, there are some technologies that increase kind of our ability to colonize stuff, but they only increase it by a little bit. So, yeah, this does not seem like a good planet to colonize, so we're going to... Ooh, wow. There is not many places we can go. I guess we're going to go through the only node line we can, and we're going to try and get through there. This is still 2 turns away. And this guy, yeah, he's still pretty far away. Oh, hold on. He's got 33 turns. Basically, when it says 33 turns or something double digits early on in the game, it basically means it runs out of fuel runs out of node power mid kind of flight, and then it goes sub FTL. Which takes a long frickin' time, and it's not really worth it. Okay, let's see here. Alright, we've colonized our planet. Now, you see, the green stuff is the stuff that's increased from last turn. So we've got more infrastructure. We have 204 Imperial citizens on this planet, and those are basically, like, you have a civilian population and Imperial population. Let's go to another planet. See? Imperial, civilian. Imperial is people like government employees, stuff like that, or people that work for the Empire. So let's see here. We're gonna not touch this for a bit because we want a lot of terraforming here, but we also want some infrastructure to be made each round. So let's see. Yeah, it doesn't look like much we can do here. So actually, okay, we're gonna wait for the next for our next research, and then we might do some design again.
System update.
If it will finish. Yeah, see, here's what I'm talking about. Research 104%. So we've lost. So basically, we've put 4% more in than 100%. So it'll have a higher chance of finishing next turn, but it could still go up to 150% before it has to be finished. So That's just money we're continuing pouring in there that we're not really getting a return of investment back. So yeah, that's kind of the thing about this game. There's a lot of random bits to it that kind of couldn't put you in the place of here we go, put you in the place of a leader. So here we go. We found this guy, this planet, and actually, this is a really good planet. 52 climate hazard, 52.19. But yeah, size 4. Doesn't have many resources, but that doesn't come into play too much, and it's only 7,000. So yeah, this is a good investment. So we're going to colonize.
Colony status green.
We're going to colonize that, and we're going to move the tanker out here, and he's going to just become a scout. We just want him to
Engines to power.
go and look at more planets, because he has extra fuel, because he's a tanker, and yeah, he can spare it. So, and we're just going to check this, and we're going to colonize.
Colonizer landing now, Commander.
We're going to end turn again.
System update.
I'm sorry if I'm going through this kind of quickly.
Over time and over
I
budget.
wanted to kind of get into the
But at least
game.
we finally have this tech director.
And I didn't really want to bog you guys down in explanations and stuff like that. I kind of want to get into the game and just show you guys how this play is, because it's yeah, I think this is going to be a long Let's Play, but it's going to be a pretty fun Let's Play. Okay, yeah, so we got that. So that'll go into our next round of designs. Let's see here. You know what? Let's get suspended animation. That's going to help our colony ships.
Sir. Thank you.
Basically, it doesn't mean we're going to have double the amount of population on the planet initially, because we'll have people frozen instead of just walking around those like colony module thingies. And let's design. Let's design since we have them open. Okay, see, recumbent fissionables. It's going to cost us a lot more. It's going to cost us more money per ship, so it's going to cost us about 1,800 credits more per ship. But if we look at these stats up here, if we don't have it, so we have a range of 15 instead of 12 with our pulsed fission engines compared to we have 15 compared to the 12. So yeah, it's worth it. That's great. So let's make sure we have these selected right, and we're going to make that Mark III.
Yes, sir. Ship design ready for construction.
And we're just going to click that, save, Mark III, colony, we're going to save that, Mark III.